Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Frisco. Welcome to the Mr. Frisco Real Estate Podcast, your trusted source for quick, data-driven updates on the housing market, as well as the latest Frisco social and business news. Today on the podcast, we will be diving into the latest market stats, breaking down trends, and exploring what it all means for you. Today's buyer and seller's tip, understanding the financing contingency. This crucial contract provision outlines the time frame in which you must secure financing for your home purchase. My guest today, Tony Gavrilov, owner and managing partner of RFP Homes. It's a wholesale real estate company. And today I will talk about an exciting new addition to Frisco, the little gem of Frisco Stonebriar.
Meet Mr. Frisco, a realtor selling residential real estate in Frisco and far North Dallas. As a former professional athlete, track and field, and strength and conditioning coach, Mr. Frisco immigrated to the USA 20 years ago with $50 in his pocket, a suitcase, and zero English to pursue the American dream and build a successful real estate business. Hardworking, persistent, customer service, and detail-oriented, Mr. Frisco strives to secure a smooth closing on his client's biggest investment, their home. He puts his experience and knowledge to serve his clients the best way possible. Building his business by referral allows him to maintain relationships with his clients and serve them even after the transaction is closed. This is Frisco Realty News with Mr. Frisco.
Frisco's housing market is showing some mixed signals. This February, the median home price sits at $589,000, down 8% year over year, and more noticeable, 10% drop from January. Inventory is up 68.4% from last year, with 431 homes for sale and 35% lower than pre-pandemic levels. Sales activity has slowed with 109 homes sold and 18% decline year over year and 2.6% lower than January. Homes are also taking longer to sell, with the median days on the market jumping to 46 days, and 119% increase from the last year. Pending sales, an indicator of a future closing, are also down 13.8% from last year, and it's up 6.1% from January, suggesting a stronger market in the coming months. Despite this, Frisco remains a strong seller's market with 2.7 months of inventory on the market. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now is the time to strategize. So for today's buyer's tip, let's talk about the financing contingency, a very important part of the contract where time is of the essence. A financing contingency protects buyers while securing mortgage approval. Submit all required paperwork on time to get conditional approval, and if approval isn't obtained, the contingency should be extended, or the buyer can cancel and get the earnest money back. Having the right lender is a key. A lender who pre-underwrites and moves quickly gives you a huge advantage in multiple offer situation. So if you need a trusted lender, let me know. I will connect you with a proven expert from my network. So, and remember again, time is of the essence. So now it's time for my guest, Tony Gavrilov, owner and managing partner of RFP Homes Wholesaling, a real estate company. Hey, Tony, how are you, man?
Doing good.
It's all good?
Yeah, it's a beautiful day.
Okay, good to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you as well, man.
All right, so we are both in the real estate business, but you on the other side, you on this side.
I'm on the dark side.
Kind of different, yeah? You're kind of on the gray side.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yep. Well, that's good. So we have known each other for some time. So tell me, both your parents are dentists, and you suddenly ended up in real estate. How did that happen?
Yeah, pretty simple. My dad always told me, when you're a dentist, you can only make money with these two guys. And he was like, you want to start making money with this guy. So I went into finance and just kind of learned how to hopefully create something for myself and generate some passive income, and just been addicted to real estate. Always thought and still do think it's the best asset class that we're offered. So very bullish and very addicted is a good word for it. So
Yeah, real estate is addictive.
it is. Yeah.
It's addictive, but it's fun business.
It really is. Yeah.
It's fun business. How did you start? How did you decide to go into real estate?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I was blessed enough to have good mentors and people around me that had my best interests at heart. There were specifically 2 mentors that brought me into real estate. We ran a business together, and we still do to this day. And that's how I built up my portfolio. I currently have over 10 properties that I'm renting in my portfolio throughout Texas. I've done a lot of flips. I've done some creative deals as well, subject to owner finance, wraps. Yeah, that's kind of how my story started. Just being lucky and having the right people around
That's
me.
good. It's always the right time and the right people.
Mm-hmm.
This is how it goes. Okay, so when we were joking about the gray side, it's not real gray side, you know.
Yeah.
It is more an investment side of the business.
Correct.
I'm on the retail side, you on the investment side, but the investment side is very, very broad as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in the wholesale business mostly, I understand.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. A lot of people there they don't know what wholesale business is. Can you explain to the audience what it is?
Yeah.
What exactly it is?
Yeah, absolutely. So what wholesaling effectively is you're selling a property that needs repairs, that is in need of some sort of work. Predominantly, the sellers are in some sort of situation where they need to sell it, whether they're in distress, or again, it needs some sort of repairs that they can't fix themselves. They don't have the money to do it. They don't have the time to get it done, whatever it is. And we basically connect them with investors that will buy these properties with cash or hard money, also known as private money loans. And these investors will buy these properties, they will repair them, and they will make a profit on it. And it basically solves both problems. It solves the seller's problem by getting their property typically sold in about 2 weeks, and regardless of what condition is. I mean, we sell houses where a whole tree has fallen in the middle of it. It's been fully burned out, flood storms, needs a full gut job, molded out, whatever the case is. We have investors that will handle those projects. So these sellers are very grateful for what we do. And on the other side, the investors, this is predominantly their work of business. So this is how they make their money. So the more properties that we can get them, the happier they are, and they're able to make a living and also fix a nice house for a retail client, right? Once they get it done and remodeled, now it's a new house on the market, which one of your clients would then go into with a traditional loan and buy.
So actually, in a wholesale, do you mostly act as a middleman, or you buy the property and sell it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So a lot of people don't understand exactly about wholesale, but there's a lot of different steps that go into a wholesale transaction. Just to make it simple for everyone, there's basically 2 different business models. There's an acquisition model and a disposition model. The acquisition model is the people that are reaching out to the sellers, right? So, Mr. and Mrs. Smith have a house they've lived in for 30 years. They ask Viktor here to, come in and sell their house. You go in there, it's not going to pass inspection. No bank's ever going to approve this. So you tell them that it needs a lot of work done. They don't have the money to get that done, right? So at this moment, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be sending them marketing saying like, hey, if you're looking for a cash offer on your house and get out of your property in about 2 weeks, we can provide that for you. Give us a call. That's the acquisition model. Now, once they negotiate to terms with these sellers, they get that under contract, they send it over to us, and we are basically, all we have is just a lot of investors that we work with, and we basically sell it to our investors. So sometimes we'll do direct to seller. We'll actually market to the sellers ourselves, but predominantly most of our business comes from already existing acquisition shops. There's some shops that we work with that spend $1.5 million a month on marketing here in Dallas. So it's hard to compete with a lot of them. And they're just very trained to helping these sellers and nurturing them through the process and helping them with anything that's needed.
It's a lot of marketing involved.
A lot of marketing, yeah.
Right. That's the way that you get your clients.
Well, correct. And then on the other side for us, we already get these homes prepackaged. So every single day we get between 3 to 4 properties that are already under contract that have a lot of margin. So, for example, this morning we got a property in Hearst. I believe we're putting it out for $190,000. It needs about $40,000 in work, and it's worth about $325,000 when all is said and done. So, one of our investors is going to buy this property, and they should walk away with, after all commissions and holding costs and everything, roughly $40,000 to $50,000.
Right.
And so on our side, all we do is we just find these investors and sell to them. So
it sounds so easy. Is it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not easy. It's a very easy concept.
The concept is.
But there's so many little minute things that go into it that you would not believe. And so in our company specifically, we currently have 39 agents that have signed and are with us. Of those, most of them are on the disposition side. And every single agent that we have is licensed real estate agent. This allows them to provide their customers with a lot more expertise on every single property. But there's just a lot of kinks when it comes from A to Z in these deals. So
I know, but a lot of people looking at the reality shows, they think I say, I'm going to get it and get it done.
yeah.
But yeah, it's not easy. You have different approaches. I'm familiar with the investors. I'm familiar with the wholesalers. I work with some of them. You have different approaches that in the retail business is not pretty common. Mm-hmm. It's not common at all. One of them is subject to, and a lot of people then not a lot. I just many people, almost nobody knows what it is from the regular audience. Can you explain really quick what is subject to?
Yeah, absolutely. So subject to, this is a pretty complicated concept, but I'll try to break it up for people that might not know too much about real estate. When you purchase a property and you get a loan from a bank, right? That bank is going to collateralize the property against the loan. So you have a title and you have a loan, right? A deed of trust. That deed of trust states that if it's not paid, then the title goes back to the bank. So what you can do is you can actually purchase the title off someone. So let's say yourself, Victor, right? You bought the house, the title is in Victor's name, and the deed of trust is in Victor's name as well. I, Tony, can actually set up an agreement with you and say, look, I'm going to buy this house with your deed of trust existing and subject to this deed of trust. And I'm going to pay you $20,000 to give me the title rights. And you'll say, great. And so now for $20,000, I take the title of the property. So now Tony owns the house, but the deed of trust is still in Victor's name. So when people do this transaction, there's a lot of legality involved, and you need to ensure that everyone understands what they're doing, because at the end of the day, this loan is still in your name, but the house is mine. So you will never pay the loan again because you're basically paying my house. At the same time, however, if I don't pay your loan, your credit gets hurt. So it's a delicate investment tool. Our company personally, we don't really mess with it at all. There's too many complexities when it comes to the legality of it. But a lot of people like myself in my personal portfolio, I've definitely bought a lot of properties subject to, and quite honestly, it was the only way that I could have bought those properties, because the properties did not make sense if I had to refinance them and get a traditional 7 or 8% mortgage at that time.
All right. Well, that's interesting, and I know you guys, investors, have different approaches, and they're very creative. And
yep.
It's the real estate, the investment real estate business is a very interesting field. Yep. Whoever wants to deal with that, we kind of more on the boring side,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah,
they both service a clientele. I'd say on the investor side, what a lot of people don't understand here in Dallas is every market has a little bit of a different structure. Here in Dallas, if you want to buy a cash property that you're going to fix and flip yourself and try to make money on it, typically the profit margin that you should be chasing is about 10%. So if you're going to sell the house for about $300,000, you should be looking at making about $30,000, give or take. Now, if you're using your own cash, that number is probably going to go up to about $40,000. If you're using private money, you're probably looking at that $28,000 to $30,000 range. But that's kind of how we price all of our deals. So, we're servicing a completely different audience than you are. But without our audience, right, without our investors that are actually buying, because this month I think we have 41 sold, or maybe I think 2 just rolled. So I think 39 sold in just DFW. And so it's like, that's 39 houses that theoretically in 3 months are going to go on the market, fully rehabbed, fully, furnished, or not furnished, fully refurbished, that you can then buy or sell to one of your clients.
Yep.
So I think we kind of help each other out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I have all the investors calling me, and I have worked with them. But you target mostly investors. Actually, I work with investors too, but in a different way. Mm-hmm. But in general, for everybody that are watching us, the wholesalers, they help distressed people, actually homeowners that own distressed property, mm-hmm. To sell it and walk away with no issues, and not much pain.
Yes.
Okay. Is that the goal?
That is the goal. And I think a lot of our competitors, not even our competitors, I think just the industry, a lot of people don't really understand the pain that these sellers have to go with. And, I was fortunate enough to where I was actually spending in my previous business, the first one that I got into in real estate before I joined RFP, I was spending a lot of money on marketing every single month to these distressed homeowners and trying to help them get out of their situation. And the stories that I could tell you of people that would beg me and plead and whatever they could just for me to buy their house at a discount, because the alternative was in 2 weeks they lose everything, and their credit gets destroyed and their entire livelihood sometimes. Yes. Their jobs are sometimes lined up to it, sometimes their benefits, So it's just, there was a lot more that goes into a person's pain than people know. So my goal in our company is every house that we sell, yes, money's going to be made. Yes, the investor's going to make money. Yes, a client can buy it, but you're also helping this person that's in a bad situation. And I don't take that for granted. I think that's a very important part of all this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, okay. So I think that's a very broad topic, so we can talk all day and all night. Yeah. But the last, if somebody needs your help, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a website. You can go to rfphomes.com. Again, that's R as in Riley, F as in Frank, P as in Paul, homes.com. Just click on our invest button and one of our investor advisors will reach out to you. Our company currently has roughly 22 investor advisors. Their entire job is to just understand what your criteria is, what you're trying to do, whether you're trying to make money, whether you're trying to buy rentals, whether you're just trying to learn more about the game, whatever it is, right? They will kind of understand what your process looks like and kind of tailor the experience to you. Again, we have a lot of products. So the 3 things that we kind of are different than a lot of wholesalers on that I would advise people that are watching and trying to buy these properties from is a lot of wholesalers do not have the properties under contract. So every property that we put out, we have equitable interest in the property. We have it under contract and it is our property to sell. A lot of times people do something called daisy chaining where they'll tell you, hey, I have this great property, come look at it. You'll spend 8 hours analyzing the deal, go drive it with your contractor, all this stuff. And then you'll be like, I want to buy it. Then they are trying to call the person that has the property and try to negotiate from there. And a lot of times that property is already sold or it's no longer available. You just wasted your time. With us, everything we have is with equitable interest. And then the other 2 things that we kind of differentiate ourselves on is we never do any double closings. So you always... for the investors, it saves them a lot of money when they don't have to, spend twice on a closing. And then for our acquisition partners that bring us properties, and a lot of realtors actually that bring us properties, they see exactly how much we make, so that they can kind of be comfortable. We typically shoot for a pretty small margin on every property. We're more volume based. So, it's anyone wants to get in contact, again, rfphomes.com. And, one of our investor advisors will take care of you.
All right, everyone. Tony Gavrilov. So if you need his help and you have anything in the real estate to be helped with, so contact Tony.
Perfect.
All right. Thank
Victor.
you very much, Tony.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
We'll see you. Today, I'm thrilled to talk about an exciting new addition to Frisco, the Little Gym of Frisco Stonebriar. If you are a parent looking for a fun and engaging way for your child to grow physically and socially, this is the place to be. The Little Gym just opened its doors, offering a wide range of gymnastics, dance, and motor skills development classes for kids from 4 months to 12 years old. What makes the Little Gym so special? Well, it's all about their unique approach, combining movement, music, and fun in a non-competitive environment that builds confidence and coordination. Plus, their trained instructors focus on making every class a joyful experience for both kids and parents. Whether you are looking for parent-child classes, preschool gymnastics, or even birthday party options, the Little Gym of Frisco Stonebriar has something for everyone, for every little one, I'm sorry. So if you're in the area, stop by and check it out. They are now open and welcoming new families. You can visit the website www.thelittlegym.com to learn more and sign up for a free instructory class. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to my podcast or more insights on Frisco's best sports events and housing market. Until next time.